from Adelaide a few days ago, and we really came here because of Matt. And what an inaugural show it is. It's a fantastic show. We came here to meet and engage with all of you and to get feedback and to understand what the vibe is here in New Zealand. And I can tell you well and truly that the vibe, as we would say in Australia, it's Marlo. The vibe here is fantastic. You are not way behind at all. There is no sense of being behind in any sense about legislation. I think the Australian and New Zealand and APAC way of looking at anything to do with safety is actually really advanced. I travel a lot, and the fact that you're having forums like this that are really engaged at this kind of level, where they're not huge conferences where you're really having workshops and dealing with scissor lifts and real stuff, is a typical Australian and New Zealand way of doing things, and I think it's been very well received. So a little bit about us before we get into the drinks. My CTO is from Wellington. He came to Australia 3 years ago. We started this company trying to address lots of things, not just safety. We haven't come from safety backgrounds, but we're certainly spending a lot of time with safety people all around the world. And we're just trying to make safety embedded and intertwined into everything to do with a physical location. So the key takeaway, without going into too much detail at 5 o'clock this afternoon, is all physical locations, schools, hospitals, construction sites, offices, shopping centres, everywhere. Obviously, as you know, there's a risk of attending that and getting hurt or injured or not doing the right particular task on the right day. Sine and my team in Australia and over here, we're interfacing with all of these different people on all of these different missions across all of these different types of environments. So a city like New York or Auckland or Wellington or Christchurch has got lots of missions of people trying to get to do their job to basically get home and get paid. They're in a rush. So the whole of society, as we can see now, is completely in a rush to get stuff done. And so the missions and the time taken to get things done at a work site in a big city or to attend a meeting is what we're interested in. It's all of those journeys of attendance. And that differs from the construction activity of a big construction site in Sydney, Melbourne or Auckland, right through to a civil project. We're really intrigued and interested by the missions of those particular subbies, those contractors, the foremen, the sandwich people delivering the sandwiches onto site. That's another set of missions and journeys that all of those people are undertaking. Right through to the logistics and infrastructure environment, docks, warehouses, infrastructure, now the rise of Amazon and all the big technology companies, all of that infrastructure which is getting goods and services to our homes is becoming hugely, hugely busy. So all of the safety requirements at all of our airports and infrastructure areas are really a different set of missions and safety lessons. So what we're trying to do is understand all of these different environments. We're trying to look at the data, and the good thing about tech is it's pretty good at collecting data. What we do with that data is ethically very important. And we'll come back to that in a little while. But if there was one takeaway I'd like you to take from today, think about your location where you're sending your clients, contractors and visitors and all the people. You know, we think that the physical location is really where it starts to get interesting. There's a lot of work done around inductions and pre-qualification and all the processes that go outside in the outside firewall. As you get closer to the actual job that needs to be done, when the guy or the lady or the person's going to the job in a hurry, the rubber really hits the road when stuff's about to take place, when you're arriving at site. And also the site conditions could have changed in the last 12 hours, 24 hours or 12 minutes. So what we're doing is developing software by ourselves, but also through connections with lots of other smart systems that our clients use to give you and your clients a really holistic firewall approach where you can only get actually to start work if you've gone through some sensible things, which quite frankly the way Deanne described it this morning around colour and what the brain can actually physically take in or mentally take in, was spot on. The most important thing that we see thereafter is, what's important to us as a technology business are these people. Visitors, could be contractors, but they don't know that they're contractors yet because they're coming to scope out a job before they actually even start the physical implementation. So the key thing that we've seen at Sine is developing a system which caters for all the different people flows coming to a physical asset once they get past that digital firewall. And again, sorry for a lot of this technology speak as we're going into to have some beers. Lots of different journeys, lots of different visitor types, one piece of software that can deal with the contractor who needs to see this particular set of information about their work versus the visitor who's not going to be involved in high-risk work. What we find is a lot of these people are giving us feedback, and the reason why we're here today to join you in that is this is modern software. This is software that next week will have a release that will take in the feedback that we had with your colleagues in the UK or in the US 3 to 6 months ago. So it's really important that we get feedback from the actual people doing the jobs at site and from consultants and clients like yourselves who are giving us feedback all the time. Obviously, they want safe experiences on site when they attend, but the clear things are that they want swift, convenient, fast experiences. And this is the whole trade-off between full-blown safety and allowing people to get on with their jobs and to have safety embedded and intertwined into regular, everyday things that they're doing. That's where we're really interested in applying the software and the hardware and the apps to actually not just be there as a gimmick or as a side objective, but to intertwine that into the daily habits of what these busy people are doing. We've learned all of this from the airlines. So the inspiration from whatever we've done in a safety conscious way, we think that airlines are actually pretty good at safety, we hope. We've seen, again, a lot of paper in busy environments, and we've looked and we've studied the way that airlines have checked in hundreds of millions, billions of people and done that with safety in mind. Not only the passengers, but obviously all the crew, all the staff. So the whole inspiration or our attitude towards safety really comes from the airline model. And what we've done is we've made it very visual. So again, colour, diagrams, not so much tick and flick, but really bringing to life through video or through visual ways the ability to say to someone on the day or on the hour that they're attending a construction site or a school or a medical a facility, this is what's important today. This is what we want you to understand, and really repeating that, not just once a year in line with the insurance certificates, but every time, like you would do attending a airline or travelling on Air New Zealand or Qantas. So that's the inspiration. Just a little bit of tech. We think facial recognition is going to be really interesting. We're testing that globally now. We've deployed this all over the world, and we're starting to use facial recognition for security purposes, obviously, to detect who's coming onto a site using some of our iPads, which you've seen outside. But where we think this heads is we think we can start to tell whether people are actually taking what you're asking them to look at seriously, and we can tell what their reactions are, and we can start to delve into what they're thinking. So there's some experimentation around this, and again, it's all testing and feedback, but there's some pretty cool tech that works. It's got some initial feedback that's really interesting around facial recognition and safety. So again, won't go into too much detail. Just rounding it out, obviously what's really clear, everyone's got a phone pretty much. I'd be very surprised if someone didn't have a phone in here today. Android, iPhone, maybe some Microsoft. Sadly, we're all obsessed with our phones. We're using our phones a lot. We're not trying to interfere with the actual work that's being undertaken on a construction site, so we get it that there shouldn't be too much usage of mobile devices, but any safety system, and it's not just about Sine or any other system, any safety procedure that doesn't include mobile and location in your safety plan, we think is probably not as modern as it could be and not as effective. So we'd love to open up a debate with you and a discussion with you about how effective location and mobile can be. Check into a site, like we would on an airline. Check into a flight, check into a construction site. What we're all about is using repetitive behaviour and asking people to be safe and checking before they start work using their phone or an iPad. Just where it's starting to head as well, we've obviously heard a little bit about the Internet of Things, but we think there's the crossover between IoT, the Internet of People, and IoT, and that's when it's going to get really interesting, is when you can't start a Bobcat or a piece of machinery or equipment until you have gone through certain procedures. So we're adopting that now, where you'll be able to check into a work site, be safe, but then you'll be also obtaining keys to diggers, other pieces of equipment, and that's really an interesting extra layer of protection in the health and safety environment. I think what's also emerging, we've talked with Mark and Safety Culture and all the other great software companies here today, we wanted you to take away that unless the providers that you're talking to ultimately protect your clients, employees and contractors, have a system where their API can talk to other software providers, we think that there's so much sophistication out there to make it actually truly safe that you should have a company that has an API that allows them to share data and communicate with other systems. So something that we can talk about later, but it's really a trend that we're seeing globally, that all the larger enterprise clients, but also smaller companies, want software to work with other vendors. So that's pretty much it from us. We're based in Adelaide. We've got a lot of time for the New Zealand market. Some of our early adopters were always out of New Zealand straight away. We think you're way in front of the curve over here in trying things. We think that software is there to really help all of the people that are on site. It's gone really well. It's scaled up, and we're really interested in your feedback and getting to know you as a group. And again, thank you so much for Matt for putting this on. And it really shows like a digital group like LinkedIn can now turn itself into the physical world like this and getting together. So it's a really great event, and we want to see it grow and prosper. And thank you very much.
Awesome.